Firefighters right there. Hey there, how's it going? I'm here in Ukiah, heading down that way, and some firefighters maybe heading out for the forests and the fires which are raging out there. You can maybe kind of see that these hills are all hazed up. I'm not going to walk into this area and bug these people, but this is kind of a headquarters for the firefighting operations here in Northern California, where it is a very serious situation. Today is August 13th, 2018, and the fire became the largest fire in California history. It is called the Mendocino Complex. It consists of two different fires, one of which is much larger out that way, and a smaller one over there that I think is mostly contained from the last that I heard. The other one is nowhere near contained and is getting larger. And so I just got back to California like a week ago. I was traveling in Asia. My mom lives here in Ukiah. I am from this area. I was raised in Willits, which is just north, about a 30-minute drive. And so I'm not going to do like a big, you know, report on the fires here. I'm just going for a little adventure, cruising around in the vehicle here, going to head north up to Willits, try and visit a friend and maybe go to a river or something. But before I do that, then I thought that I would try to see some of the damage from the forest fires in an area that is not actually on fire at the moment, but was burned previously. And it is out Highway 20 going towards Clear Lake, which is the largest lake in California that is fully inside the lake. There's also Lake Tahoe. And so that Lake Clear Lake is the largest freshwater lake that is fully within the state of California. And so contrary to what Trump said, there is actually not a shortage of water for fighting these fires. That is not the problem. It is more complicated than that. They have plenty of water because there's that massive lake there. I'm not going to drive all the way to that lake, but I'm going to head in that direction, see if we can find some evidence of the forest fires beyond just the smoke here. So I'm going to hop in the car here and get rolling. Check it out, I think I'm seeing some damage already. Notice that ridge on the left is all yellow, and the one after that is all black. There you go, right there. On the right. I guess maybe this was the edge of the fire in this direction. Those guys got lucky in that house. Man, it came close. And then along here, you can see these trees got singed. Or even more than singed. Crazy. And here we go. Stepping on fire torched ground. And it is still burning like crazy out that direction. Hundreds of thousands of acres, a massive area. I think it is still the largest fire ever in California history, even at this point, and it's been going for a long while. So it's a bad situation for people who are still in the path or anywhere near it. All right, that's it. I'm going to head back that way and go show some more of Mendocino County, including the town where I was raised. And I'll see after that. I might get to a river today. That would be nice on a day like this. You can imagine. Get out of the fire zone and get into the water zone. Bechdel Grove Middle School, home of the Cougars. This is where I went to school in 5th and 6th grade. I haven't been back here in decades, even though I've been through Willits, but I hadn't driven over here and checked out the school. Pretty wild. So that would have been around 1982, 83, and it definitely looks different. I think that building there wasn't here, and there were more trees in here. And so that was my classroom that I showed at the beginning right there for both 5th and 6th grade. Abram and I were in the same class there. We knew each other from the previous years in the other school. And then this at the time was 5th, 6th, and 7th grade. Not sure if it's the same now, I guess probably. But I didn't go here for 7th grade because I went to a private school for 7th grade, and then I skipped 8th grade. 8th grade was at the high school. I'll show that as well. And so it was good to skip 8th grade because, you know, you had 4 grades above you. They were called rats, the 8th graders, because, you know, there was the freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, and no name for the 8th graders. So they got called rats because that was, you know, weird to have 8th grade along with high school. And so that was good actually to skip over 8th grade. And Abram skipped 7th grade and then went straight to the high school. And then I went to the high school in 9th grade. And so we were in the same grade for 9th grade at the high school. Willits, gateway to the Redwoods. Fort Bragg, Mendocino Coast to the left, Highway 20. Time to get some gas, $3.37 a gallon. And this is downtown Willits. You can see these sort of old-time looking buildings. They are pretty old. Al's Redwood Room since 1901. Check that out. 2:26 p.m., 89 degrees. Pretty warm. And kind of weird to see all this construction going on. TNT Market, that was here when I was a kid, and we would go there and play video games. Brookside Elementary, first day of school, August 20th. That's a week from today. And so this is where I went to kindergarten, in this building right here. And then this was the separate playground area for kindergartners. And then there's a much bigger playground area other side of that building over there for 1st through 4th grade. So this is the original building, it looks like. It all looks pretty much the same. And so 2nd grade was in, I think, that building over there. 3rd grade was over on the left. 4th grade was back there. I forget where I went to 1st grade. And so I spent a lot of time on this playground here. Pretty weird. We would like shoot baskets and go for like these super long shots. It was like something we did almost every recess. I remember especially in 4th grade. Then we would just go for these like massive shots. I think this is new right here. I mean, probably pretty old at this point, but wasn't here at the time. Otherwise, then it all looks pretty much the same. And Willits Union High School. I went here 9th and 10th grade, and then I moved down to the Bay Area with my dad. My parents got divorced and moved down to Oakland in 1987. So I was here 1985 and 1987. And then moved down to Oakland for 11th and 12th grade, and then graduated from Berkeley High School. Went to 11th grade at Skyline High School, where I think Tom Hanks went to high school, if I remember. And then I went to Berkeley High School in 12th grade, graduated from there. And so this is the library, and I have a funny story of Abram and I, which is that we were in the library and Abram did something that got us both kicked out. Like he made a loud noise or something like that, and so we got kicked out like for the rest of the year or the end, or you know, through the month, something like that, like for a while. And in protest, then we would come over here early in the morning. We would normally hang out here in the morning waiting for classes to start. And so since we couldn't do that, we would come here and we would like stand in front of the window, and we would just kind of stand here and like stare at everybody as they were coming out and like put our tongues on the window or something like that. Like we were just kind of being weird and annoying, but like every morning, like we were consistent with it. We would just stand there and like bug everybody who was coming out of the library, just because we didn't have anything else to do or something, and we were just weird. And then this is Sherwood Road, and right there is where I would hitchhike home from high school sometimes when I like missed the bus or stayed late or whatever. But that wasn't my first hitchhiking. You will see up ahead, I actually started hitchhiking when I was even younger than in high school, when I was just like 8 or 9 years old or so. And so this paved road keeps on going that way quite a ways. But this is the road that I lived on. So you turn onto this dirt road, head up here, and so the bus would drop me off there at the bottom of this road. And then it was a 1.5 mile walk up to where I lived, our house. And so I would have to walk it or get a ride from, you know, my mom or dad if they happened to be able to pick me up, but that wasn't often the case, and so I had to walk a lot of the times. And so at some point then I came up with the idea of hitchhiking, and so just up ahead is where I actually would walk to, and then it's kind of more of a flat, straight area. And so right here, from what I remember, is where I would stop and take a seat and like read a book and catch a ride from a neighbor up to our driveway, which is another mile or so walk up this road. And so this road here was actually a logging road. This entire area was logged like maybe in the 50s or something. And so by the 70s, when I was growing up here, the 70s and 80s, then the trees had started growing back, but they were not nearly as thick as they are now. So it was much more exposed through here. And so this right here is our old driveway. It winds down there, a pretty long driveway. And then my dad built our house, which is still there, and a woman lives there who bought it from my parents back at the end of the 80s when my mom left town as well. And so I'm not going to go down there and bug her, but I've revisited the house there. I don't know when the last time was, sometime in the last decade. And so I'm here at the 101 Drive-In. Best burgers, shakes, and fries, family owned. And just grabbing a cheeseburger with avocado and garlic fries and a blackberry shake. Oh yeah. And so I'm now headed north out of town, going towards the Eel River. 101, Eureka. Looking forward to taking a swim and getting wet, cooling off. that is some really nice looking water down there. Trick might be getting down. A little bit of a trail here, but then it just kind of ends. I think I've been to this spot before. Wow, oh man, that looks sweet. Okay, how to get down. And so I changed into my other sandals. I have some sturdier sandals here and found a better spot to get down here. This is gonna work. Definitely not the only person that's been here. Some garbage, but other than that, looks pretty pristine. That water looks spectacular. Wow! Oh man, I needed that bad. So worth it. And so this is one of the places that I would come out to with my family when I was a kid, and there are other spots where there are sandy beaches and just hang out for the whole afternoon and get a lot of sun and get a lot of swimming in and hanging out with family and also friends and stuff. So having a good old summertime. A ultimate swimming spot here. Oh. All right, I think I'm going to finish this video here. Nice culmination of the California in summertime experience, the Eel River. All right, more coming from somewhere. Later.